I had, so again, I was on the sauce today, and we were talking about, obviously, Jesper Wallstedt. I don't know if you guys know the Oilers could have drafted him.
What year? Who'd they take?
And Ryder asked me, he's like, people were wondering if the Oilers would have even developed him well enough. And I kind of went on a little bit, it wasn't a rant, but it was like, okay, but Stuart Skinner was also in the organization at that time, and they developed him into an NHL goalie.
Into a dog shit NHL goalie.
And Jesper Wallstedt is obviously a better goalie, looks to be a better goalie than Stuart Skinner. So if they were able to develop what is, let's just call him an average defenseman, average goaltender, sorry, then they surely would have been able to develop Wallstedt, who looks to be on track to be one of the best in the league. Obviously, he's super hot right now. But I just think this notion of like the Oilers don't develop players is just so false. I definitely think there's been a little bit of an era under Holland where it collapsed.
Yeah.
But I think before that, it was like pretty decent coming through. The Oilers were doing a good job. Guys were coming through. And then it took a stumbling block. Bad drafting also took a big part in that as well. They weren't drafting players well enough.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, like, look where some players were. Like, do you remember when Draisaitl was drafted?
I was talking about this today on DFO Live with Jeff Merrick.
We were very unsure what he was going to be.
There is a reason that he went like third and not first. Like if you do a redraft, he obviously goes first overall in that thing.
Yeah.
But when they drafted him, what was like the scouting report, right? It was like,
Couldn't skate.
Big body, pass first, probably going to excel on the defensive side of things,
Yeah.
right? It was like a poor man's Anzi Kopitar kind of comparison, right?
Something around there.
It was like, or like, you know, his
he was
ceiling,
European.
his ceiling is Getzlav or something like that, right? Where like, should be, you know, you obviously always think a top 5 pick is going to be a great player, but like no one ever thought, one, he'd be able to skate the way he did. He ended up winning like one of his first years in the league, the Oilers' fastest skater competition. I remember that.
Interesting.
But he was never supposed to be a goal scorer. He was supposed to be a pass guy, a distributor.
And now he's just both.
Now he's just one of the best players in the NHL.
A dynamic player. Yeah, and you look through, and again, there's busts. Every team has busts. But like Ryan McLeod, second-round pick, now a legit NHL player. Ethan Bear and Caleb Jones.
Michael Kesselring. Like, those are all 4th, 5th, 6th-round picks. Yeah. Vincent Desharnais, 7th-round pick. I know he's like who he is now, but the fact like, you got even 50 games out of Vinny is amazing. And the fact we can say all this, despite the fact that for the last 5 years, they've traded off a ton of picks.
Yeah.
Like,
and now it looks to be that they're developing again. Like players are coming through. I think they're doing a good job, a better job than advertised.
Yep, I agree with you on that. The other thing too with Draisaitl, and this is a great lesson to apply to some other guys, but they draft him in 2000, and that was the 2014 draft. That next year, he made the team out of camp, and it went poorly. He scored 2 times in his first 37 NHL games, and then finally they said enough is enough. And they didn't want him going back to PA, if I'm right. Like, that was kind of the whole thing.
They just weren't a very good team. They wanted him to go after the World Juniors to try and win.
Yeah.
And Kelowna obviously was hosting the Memorial Cup that year.
So they sent him back with the agreement, because Mac T was still the GM then. It was like, we're sending him back once he's traded to Kelowna.
Yes.
And he went to Kelowna, and they obviously had a lot of success there. But he had to go back to junior after playing 37 games in the NHL. And then what happened the next year out of camp?
He went to the American League.
They put him down in Bakersfield. Yeah. And Bakersfield didn't exactly go all that well for Leon Draisaitl. He had 2 points in 6 games. And I think if you would have asked a lot of people when the Oilers recalled him at that point, what do you think they're going to get out of Leon Draisaitl? A lot of people would have been really, really low on him. I mean, we were at that point talking about him being in trade packages for PK Subban.
There was also, wasn't after Tampa lost to Columbus, there was talk of him going for Kucherov.
Yeah, they were going to do a Draisaitl for Kucherov swap. Yeah. Because Tampa Bay, I think Tampa Bay was maybe scared of like some offer sheet stuff there at that point too.
Yeah, maybe.
But the point is, through his first year, Leon Draisaitl was viewed as a disappointment. More of a project than a 3rd overall pick should be.
Yes.
Coming out of his second pro training camp, I think it was Bakersfield, not OKC, by the way. Coming out of his second training camp when he doesn't make the team, I think a lot of Oilers fans would have been sitting there going, and you and I obviously didn't have a show then. We were in radio school.
Just finishing high school.
Yeah. But I think a lot of Oilers fans would have been like, oh my God, they did it again. It's Yakupov all over. It's P.R.V. Svensson all over. And what does Leon Draisaitl do? comes back to the NHL at the end of October, ends up having a 51-point season, and the next year they go to the playoffs. He puts up 16 points in 13 playoff games, and he's never looked back, been one of the best players in the league ever since. And that's not me saying that Ike Howard or Matt Savoy or whoever you want to throw out there are going to become perennial all-stars, but like, let me throw another guy your way. Let's talk about Adrian Kempe. Adrian Kempe is a 29-year-old with the LA Kings who just cashed in on a $10.5 million deal. How many times have we gone up against the LA Kings in the playoffs and we've all thought, man, I'd love for a guy like Adrian Kempe to be on the Oilers. He's, 6'2". He's got some size to him and all of that, which maybe a Howard or a Savoy don't. But, like, he was drafted first round, 29th overall in 2014. They kept him over in Sweden for a year. He came over in his draft plus 1 year to the American Hockey League, scored 11 goals in 55 games. You would think maybe he took a jump after that. Nope. Next year in the American League, 12 goals in 46 games. They called him up, played 25 games. He scored 2 goals in 25 games. He then had seasons of 16 goals, 12 goals, 11 goals, 14 goals. We're talking about a guy who took until his draft plus 9 year to finally score a 30-point season. And at that point, it clicked, and he's a play-driving top-line player now. And I just think sometimes, because we're in the moment and we go day-to-day with this team, and yes, it's like natural to get impatient. Like, Am I sitting here? Is there 10% of me that's maybe like, oh, God, maybe Ike Howard's not going to be the guy that this organization was hoping he would be? Yeah, like I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a little bit of that. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a part of me that was really hoping he could step into the NHL and play with Leon Draisaitl and score 20 goals this year in a top 6 role. Like, it's not happening, but I'm also looking at a guy who went down to Bakersfield and has 7 points in 5 games. And it's like, if you're going to sit there and panic over these pieces, and I see people, pulling up the old percentage player cards on a guy like Matt Savoy and being like, oh, God, Savoy's struggling. Oh my God, it's been 2 weeks, right? Like 2 weeks ago, he grabbed a spot in the top 6, and he's on a Leon Draisaitl line now, which I do think is the best spot for him going forward, is playing next to Leon. But like, have patience with these guys.
Was there graphics on Savoy? I did not see these.
Someone was tweeting the other day, they're like, Matt Savoy is one of the only 0% WAR players in the NHL, which like WAR in the NHL is no one's perfected it. So like, I don't even give it much time. But
oh my good God.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.